Rise up and conquer them. Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You are everything, Father. Thank you. Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to feel. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of life. Send down your warriors with the hello. They carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil try trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this time is coming. I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could it be that we decide? No weapon that form against us shall not prevail. No man that rise against us, that war they shall never win. Because I will conquer, oh I will conquer. Yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer. Oh, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer them. I am a man. I am a champion. I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
The COVID-19 vaccine continues to be available throughout our Tri-Island state, and it's free of cost. Protect yourself and your loved ones, and let's get back to life. Visit covid19.gov.gd for answers to your questions. Visit your nearest health center to access the vaccine. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Are you gonna wear your mask today? You see everywhere you go, there are rules you got to follow, so don't you say COVID-19 will delay. Take the opportunity to save your community. Don't be that guy, put a mask on your face if you're heading outside. It's your life, my life, more lives will be taken if we don't try. If you feel any symptoms, call the hotline. Stay inside until you feel fine. 6 feet away every day. Keep COVID-19 far from away. Keep Grenada safe. Be COVID-19 smart.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the various radio stations, 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 91.9 and 91.5 RealFM Radio, 92.9 Sister Al Radio Broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and of course 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. A very special good morning to those of you who are joining us on the live video streams, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are joining us from. A very special good morning to you. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning in the Spice Isle of Grenada. And of course, again, we are thankful for life. We are thankful for health. And we are thankful for strength, of course. And of course, we are thankful to the frontline workers, to the government of Grenada, to all persons involved, to you, the Grenadian people who have been doing exactly what you're supposed to do, that have us in the position that we are in now as it relates to the fight against COVID-19 and how we're dealing with that situation. We are grateful to you for that. I know to those of you on the live video stream, you're wondering, well, where is your co-host today? Funny story. he's on his way. He had a little snafu this morning on his way to work, so he's getting it sorted. And as soon as he's done with that, then hopefully I'm not done by the time he gets back. But he will be with us shortly. Now, this morning I have a very special feature that I want to share with you because it is going to tie really nicely into what we are expected to talk about this morning, and it has to do with vaccination. I know there are people out there who are growing tired of hearing about vaccination and why it's important, but we can't stop talking about it. We can't stop preaching about it. We can't say that, oh, well, it isn't my fight, so I'm not going to get involved. We can't just keep silent. We can't agree in silence, because if you agree in silence, you are not making an impact. You have to be as loud as your activism is. You have to make the noise that is necessary to be made to ensure that the whole of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique understand the importance of getting vaccinated, why we need to do what we need to do to get back to where we want to be as a people. And that is what is most important, to feel some semblance of normalcy all over again. We have to win this fight. The fight is not yet over. We might be in a good place. Right now, we are in a resting period. That is what we are doing, you know? We are in a resting period. We are in a comfortable state, but comfort is not complacence. We must not become complacent because we are in a comfortable place. But I do have something that I really want to share with you this morning, and it really did touch my heart, and I thought it was important that I shared with you, because while we are comfortable in our state, in the state of Grenada, with the way COVID-19 has been handled and so on, it's also very important that we keep abreast with what is happening in the international community, what is happening in the world at large. I know yesterday in the post-cabinet brief, the Minister of Health has announced that there is a travel ban that is effective, that was effective yesterday for all persons traveling from India in a 14-day period. Even if you're transiting through another country, you have to spend your 14 days wherever you're transiting before you enter Grenada. So we have to be mindful of that. We have to ensure that we are doing what we are doing. That was quick. I was just explaining to the people that are on the live video why it is you are absent from your chair.
Yeah, I had a snafu. What is a snafu? Good morning to everyone and the listening public, those on the live. I am here. I was here and had to leave. But please explain that to me.
A snafu?
Yes.
It means a small issue, a minor incident.
But you didn't see the incident. You don't know whether it was minor or not.
Well, you are here, so it's minor.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan.
And I'm happy to have you. And we were speaking this morning about vaccination and why it was important for us to get vaccinated. I also made note to mention that the travel ban that is effective for Grenada for persons coming out of India and also Brazil, within a 14-day period, you will not be allowed to enter the state of Grenada, Carriacou, or PT Martinique. But I do also, Mr. Bola, have to share with the people something that I looked at yesterday, because while we are cognizant of the fact that we are in a good place in Grenada as it relates to COVID-19, the rest of the world, some countries are really struggling with COVID-19. Some individuals are struggling. And I heard someone make a comment yesterday, Mr. Bola, that, the death toll is only 3 million, while the survival rate is higher. And I want to appeal to people that is really not a very sensitive statement to make, because the death toll cannot only be 3 million. One person dying from COVID-19 is way too much. That means that there is a family that is in grief. Now we have 3 million families that are in grief as a result of some member of their family dying or succumbing to COVID-19. We can't just say, oh, well, it's only 3 million people that died, as opposed to the millions that have recovered. It is not even a comparison that we want to make, because we are not in the situation. If you have had someone who has died from COVID-19, you would not feel good hearing that statement coming from somebody else. But I do want to share this with them, Mr. Bola. I did take the liberty to get the video as well so that the persons on the live video can see, because it's more of a visual thing than it is really auditory. So let us take a quick look at this incident that occurred in India. It occurred in India. Let me see. Where did I put it? Sabola, where I put it?
I wasn't there when you was putting it, so sadly I won't be able to help you.
But it's there. It's somewhere around. Let me just quickly find it and put it back. All right, there we go. And it's not very long. Well, it's about 7 minutes, but it's worth every single second of looking at it. So let's just take a moment to look and listen to this, and then we will be back with more conversation. Let me just make sure my thing is muted. Mr. Paul, I don't want them hearing my voice over it.
I've covered some terrible things. This was really, I've covered some terrible things, but this is right up there in terms of just absolutely harrowing scenes. Uttar Pradesh, this state that we went to, a neighboring state, one of the hardest hit in the country. And I do want to warn our viewers again, as you already have, that this is really tough to watch. But the families that we spoke to, they want the world to see their agony.
A man wails in anguish, but no one is listening. His cry, just one of many at this hospital in Uttar Pradesh state. Oh, my child, he says. Oh, my God, my baby. Inside the entrance, his son Deepak is fighting for his life. Gasping for air, his body convulsing. There are no doctors attending to him. The handful of medical staff working in this ward are stretched thin to breaking point.
This hospital is completely overwhelmed. The doctors say that they have about 55 beds, and currently they're treating more than 100 patients. And you can see people are literally just lying on the floor, desperately hoping to get some medical attention.
32-year-old Kavita says she's been here for 4 days, begging for oxygen that has not come. I'm getting anxious, she says. No one is listening to me here.
Are you struggling to breathe?
I'm unable to breathe freely, she tells us. No one is taking care of me. In the next room, more than 20 patients are packed in tightly. This is what now passes for the intensive care unit. Family members have taken on the role of primary carers, where medical staff are simply unavailable. This man complains no one will change his wife's soiled bedding. Suddenly, there is a commotion. Will someone please call the doctor? This man shouts. His mother, 55-year-old Rajbala, appears to be slipping away. Her sons work furiously to revive her. A doctor comes in and tells them to stop crowding her. But the family is inconsolable. We've been here for 6 days, and only today we got the ventilator for my mother, he tells us. The oxygen is out. We had to bring an oxygen cylinder. It's a story we hear again and again. One man approaches us pleading. His wife can't get a bed. No one's listening to me. I've tried everything, he says. Please help me or she will die.
I'm not a doctor. I'm so sorry. I can't help you.
Another man tells us his wife is struggling to breathe outside. They won't let her in. We spot the hospital administrator and ask him what's going on.
Yeah.
This man says his wife is dying outside and needs oxygen.
Oxygen is a central line oxygen.
He insists that oxygen isn't the problem, but says they are desperately short of staff. Those who do work here risk becoming patients themselves. These men tell us they move a dozen bodies a day.
Have you ever seen anything like this before? Are you not worried to be working here? You're not wearing protective gear?
We should be wearing proper PPE, they say, but even the doctors don't have it, so how can we? We hear screams coming from the ICU. Rajbala has flatlined again. Her son desperately pumps her chest. A doctor comes in. He takes her pulse. But it's too late. This time, there is no point in trying to resuscitate her. The agony of her sons is shared by so many in this country. Failed by a healthcare system on the brink of collapse, and a government accused of mismanaging this crisis. Just a few hundred yards away, in the same hospital complex, it's a very different picture. Orderly lines of people patiently wait to be vaccinated, following the Prime Minister's announcement that anyone over 18 can be inoculated. A state lawmaker is among 600 people getting their vaccine. The hospital administrator and local journalists eagerly stand by to capture the moment.
We were just in the hospital over there.
Yeah.
It was shocking to see
Why?
It was shocking.
Why?
Because the conditions are so bad here. Why do you think India has been hit so badly?
Ma'am, we are trying.
The hospital administrator interrupts and warns him that we have been asking too many questions.
Sir, you don't need to coach him what to say. He's telling him what to say.
We are trying to best, and some problems were there, but we are trying. Now condition is better.
Do you accept that the government has failed its people in the handling of this crisis?
No, never.
Because I've been talking to a lot of people, and I have to tell you, people are angry. People feel that this didn't need to be so ugly.
The situation is not only bad here, we're trying to find solutions, he says. We're increasing the number of beds, and we're working tirelessly around the clock. But back in the COVID ward, the impact of those efforts is not yet being felt. Rajbala's body is left for nearly an hour before it is finally moved. India's leaders may promise that everything is being done to end this crisis, but for now, there is no light at the end of the tunnel.
It's a lot.
Well, I've seen that those
It's a lot.
Sort of photos I've been seeing since last week, if you recall, that the situation in India is really mind-boggling. It's troubling. It's heartbreaking. There are a number of countries that are reaching out to them now, trying to give assistance. The numbers of positive cases have gone past 20 million in India. On Monday, we played a piece which I got from the BBC from a reporter, an Indian reporter whose father had died. And when asked, what did she think is responsible for that? And she did say complacency, a lack of care, and the fact that everyone took for granted that the situation was over. The numbers went down after the first phase, and people just went back to the normal way of doing things. No wearing of masks, no protocols being established. And I just came from doing some business at a business place. And when I was get out of the vehicle and entering into the office, I stood up, I had my mask. I didn't have it on then, but I stood up to put it on. And a young man who was sitting right there said to me, "Man, why are you wearing with mask?" I said, "We still have to obey the protocols. We still have to do what is necessary for protection of self and for others." He said, "No COVID in Grenada. What you worrying about protocols? There's no need for protocols." And the similar thing is what took place in India.
Yeah.
People went to religious activities in the thousands, into political rallies in the thousands, and hundreds of thousands on the beach. And everybody felt, well, we had gone past this thing, and now you're having a second wave. As a matter of fact, just the first couple of days of this week, late last weekend, from Sunday to up to yesterday, they said about 30% of the people coming down now with the virus. And on Sunday, there was over 400,000 new cases that they have found in India, just under 500,000. But about 30% of that is of a new variant.
A new variant.
One that they said is 15 times, and that was the quotation that they gave, 15 times more transmissible than the present one that they're dealing with. It tells a story. Now, India may be many million miles away from us. But you know what? This is a virus that you cannot stop by locking down borders. Absolutely. In fact, the international world is now saying and accepting in areas where they did not accept it before. The only hope for humanity at this point in time is vaccination. Yeah. And while we may have our doubts, while there may be conspiracy theories, there may even be some factual information out there that we may need to look at as it relates to vaccination. However, there's no way, and believe what we want. I am a believer in God. Yeah. And believe what we want, Oh, well, God is a Grenadian. We are so safe in Grenada and nothing will happen. Believe it or not, if we continue to behave as though there is and there won't be any COVID here in Grenada, we have a rude awakening. Now, as to the video that we just showed and the piece we just showed, the clipping, what I gather, what I take from it, my take from it, is not just the numbers who are sick. Now, that is something that the Indian community has to work with, the government. However, my immediate take is the inability of the health system to deal with what is facing them now. They are overwhelmed. Yeah. So you hear people saying that, oh, no one would listen to me, I can't find a bed, or I don't get oxygen. The fact is they just cannot. As a matter of fact, only this morning a report from the BBC was speaking to the fact that over the weekend, there were loads, as I said last time, the UAE, United Arab Emirates, they donated over the weekend, late last week, a whole oxygen plant to India to produce oxygen, because that's an issue. They are overwhelmed. Whatever they have is insufficient to provide for the numbers of sick people that they have in. The UK, the United Kingdom, they have sent a whole plane load of PPEs. You hear people talking about, even the doctors don't have protective gears to wear, right? They sent a whole plane load of that, plus the ventilators and so. Places like Iran and France and Germany sending big tanks to Russia. They have sent from late last week 150,000 doses of the Sputnik vaccination to help vaccinate people, and expect 3 million more to arrive in India. Now, India is a pretty large population. As a matter of fact, India is the second largest population in the world after China. China is 1.7 billion, India is 1.3 billion and growing, yes, in people. So you have very populated cities, easy for transmission and so. And they had become careless. They stopped obeying and looking at protocols. They felt that it was over for them, right? Now they are seeing the effect of not being careful. And that is why you have to bring into context that statement made by the NDC caretaker for St. Patrick's West. You know, Mr. Handel saying that, oh, there's nothing in Grenada. Why do we still have protocols in place and curfew and all of that, and government is just trying to stifle the rights of the people? We have to be careful as leaders as to what we say.
And what we don't say as well, Mr. Bola, because just yesterday I was listening to a young activist on one of the radio stations, and he was alluding to the fact that he supports the vaccination drive.
Yeah, to the point, yes.
So he will never openly go against it. However, you are not openly saying that you should go take the vaccine.
Instead, he was blaming politicians.
Instead, he was blaming. And my thing is that you wasted all of that time blaming politicians for taking part in the advocacy process, as opposed to spending that 5 or 6 minutes that you took blaming them to advocate and say to the young people. I said to myself when I heard it. And say to the young people, guys, this is why we need to do what we need to do. So you see, sometimes we are so tied up in the politics of things that we don't understand the damage that we are doing, not only by saying, but by not saying as well. Because if you are in agreement, and he's not the only one, there are a few of them that are in agreement, that have already been
they say they are in agreement. They say they are in agreement, which could be just for political expediency.
But they've been vaccinated as well.
So that they cannot be accused of going against. Now, if they've gotten the vaccine, they say they're not against vaccine, but they're not encouraging, not on public forum. Neither are they doing it privately.
Absolutely.
You know, going one-on-one, talking to your friends, encouraging people, saying this is the way to go. So you say politicians should not get involved because trying to advocate, it sounds as though you're making a political point. Well, why don't you or others that you know that are not political, as you say, or non-political, make this statement? You know, you are complaining that these are the people who should, but you're not encouraging them to.
And you can't really say who should, because at the end of the day, this is not a political thing.
Well, it has been said every time the Prime Minister speaks about vaccination. He says vaccination must not be a political issue. It is a health issue, and it doesn't matter who encourages. Now, the church leaders have the opportunity, teachers have the opportunity, lawyers have the opportunity, radio announcers, doctors, the medical professional, every single person, parents, you know, youth leaders, they have the opportunity, because the clarion call was made. Listen, this is for the benefit of our nation. And I've said it repeatedly. It is for health, but it is also for economic purposes.
Absolutely.
You know, and I mean, just to step back to India. Now, can you imagine Grenada as it is now? And it is no secret, our health system is very fragile.
Yeah.
Our health system needs a lot more. And things are being done step by step based on resources available. But I think to date, what we have, maybe 12 or 14 beds, maybe 15 maximum, as isolated areas, suited, capable, and ready in case we have an outbreak serious enough to have people hospitalized.
Yeah.
What does it take to give an outbreak? Now you hear people say, well, if we lock the borders, nobody can come in. We have the most porous borders probably in the sub-region. Almost every not even square mile, quarter of a square mile, there's some little bay or inlet or some place where a little boat could. Now Trinidad, which is just out of us, is riddling under the COVID.
Well, I just read an article, Mr. Bola, not too long ago, that in the 4 days that Trinidad has been on lockdown, they have had 882 new cases. But not just that, they have had 16 deaths in 4 days. Now, they are being riddled with the Brazilian variant, which we know that is a more transmissible variant. Now, it's so bad that the CDC, right, has stated that because of the current situation in Brazil, which would not, if people are not careful in Trinidad, might become Trinidad as well. The current states that even fully vaccinated travelers may be at risk of getting and spreading that COVID-19 variant and should avoid all travel to Brazil. That is how bad of a situation we are looking at. And it's not going to be so bad for us if our people would just go out and get vaccinated. You see, we can't just sit there and say, oh, well, these people are already vaccinated, so we are okay. It does not work like that. We all need to get vaccinated. We need to achieve at least 80%. Right now we have, 16,000 people that have been vaccinated. We
need
not
70,000 people to be vaccinated.
We need 70,000 people. In Trinidad alone, they need to achieve herd immunity. They need to vaccinate 700,000 or so people. They have only done 0.2% of that. So imagine you now have a variant, a stronger variant that is running rampant in a country where only 0.2% of their people have been vaccinated. Now, had they had more people been vaccinated, then they would have had less chances
better control
of transmissibility. But not only that, we're not just looking at transmissibility. We are looking at what the death toll is going to become, or how many people will become seriously ill. I think I read an article just the other day that said that if they continue at this rate, within a matter of a month, that the healthcare system in Trinidad would not be able to handle the amount of sick people that would need assistance.
And that was the point I was trying to bring home. But you mentioned Brazil, and we have not been talking Brazil a lot, because India has just taken over the world stage as it relates to how bad the situation is. But Brazil, for a couple of months now, has been grappling.
Yes,
and it was a similar situation in Brazil, where people completely ignored the protocol.
Well, even their prime minister, he ignored the science. He said he didn't believe in it.
In the science. And everybody just went about as per usual, as per normal, partying, going to games, sporting activities, everything like we see some people want to do here in Grenada, only to find out weeks after that almost the entire nation, with a new variant. And I mean, the health system, like in China, is under immense pressure and is collapsing.
Yeah.
And that is what is one of my biggest worry about us in Grenada. Yeah. So when I mentioned Trinidad just south of us, and how easy it is for anyone taking a boat and coming into unnoticed. And I know people are going to say, well, what is the police and the Coast Guard there for? They are there. They are trying their best. They just cannot. There is not enough human resource to man every little inlet, every little bay, every little bit of seashore that we have.
And it only takes one person.
For 24/7. 1 person is what it takes. In fact, there was something I was hoping, if I did not have to go to that, maybe tomorrow, please God, we can put it up. There was a test done in Japan where they use, I have it here, I download it, that we can put up and play.
Oh, send it to me.
Yeah, but we won't do it today, don't worry. They were just showing how transmissible and how easy it is.
So I saw that.
That sheep.
I have that.
Right. Where they sprayed the gentleman's hand with a certain substance that was unable to be seen by the naked eye, except you put it under these ultraviolet lights, you would see it.
Right.
He went to dinner with 9 or 10 other people, one place. But by the end of the dinner, which was a buffet style, so you went to share your own food, by the end of the dinner, they showed you where every single person who was there in that dinner was contaminated by that thing. Some even had it on their face, on their nose, on their lips.
Yeah.
But plus that, all the utensils, the handrail to the bathroom, everywhere. And they were showing that to show you how easy it is for the coronavirus to spread. So one man going to a dinner with 9 other people, 10 of them on the table. But all the staff in that restaurant, what they're illustrating is that if it was the COVID virus, this is how easy it is transmitted. So 9 different people going to different homes will now go home with that. Plus, more than 9 people, plus all staff, plus whoever else will be coming to the restaurant, because all of the utensils, who go to use the bathroom, who hold the railing or to get up the steps and everything. So it doesn't take days, weeks, or months. It doesn't take a plane load of people. It doesn't take a boat load of people. It takes one individual to slip through and in the process get mixed up with others who are either partying, liming, drinking in a restaurant, and that virus spreads like wildfire.
Absolutely.
So you said you had it, yes?
I have it.
Which
if you give me a moment, I just want to.
But we also have outside of Trinidad, we have St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who have all the other problems. God be with them. You know, the volcano eruption, the heavy rains, and everything. But they too have a significant number of COVID individuals, positive
But
individuals.
Barbados as well. Barbados has identified yet another cluster of individuals, apart from the one that they have identified in their hospital. They have another cluster that they identified as well recently. And these clusters are a problem. They are a problem because you do not know who these people have interacted with. And God forbid that any of these clusters contain the variant that is the Brazilian variant. Or contains the European variant that is more transmissible, or even now the Indian variant, because we don't know.
And then Sri Lanka last week they had another variant.
And I don't think people understand how these variants are created. As more people are infected, the more people you have infected within a country, the greater is the chance of the virus mutating into a stronger variant. Mm-hmm. So we have to be careful as to how many infections we have within a country. It's not how well you manage the infections, but how many infections you have, because the more you have means the more chances you have of a mutation that is stronger or is unmanageable developing. So I want to play the video, Mr. Bola,
but even managing what you have becomes a difficulty because it means resources.
Absolutely.
It means finding money. Yeah. It means finding more PPEs. Yeah. It means finding more ventilators, having more beds available, having more isolated rooms, having more personnel.
Yeah.
You know, exposing your people who have worked so hard and tried so hard during the initial stages to keep COVID at bay. Now we are risking them by we not obeying and not wanting to take the vaccine.
And yesterday I heard something so very disturbing, Mr. Bola, as well, and I couldn't even believe it, that people are now even refusing to take the COVID test. Apart from not wanting, in Grenada, people are refusing, the CMO made mention of that, people refusing to be tested as well. I think our fight for rights and freedoms have really misconstrued what rights exactly we have and when we should exercise those rights as well. I think this thing about, it is my rights, is being just floated around a little bit too much, and we don't understand when we should and should not use it, because persons are now even outright refusing to be tested when they know that there's a possibility that they have been exposed. Because remember, even if our borders are closed, even if the quarantine measures are ironclad, we still have ordinary individuals within Grenada dealing with these people, our nurses, our doctors, our contact tracers, the people at the airport. These are all people that are dealing with COVID-19 patients. These are people who are dealing with them.
They interact with people on a daily basis.
And let's not even talk about those people. Let's talk about the people on our ports of entry, the people who are coming to do transactions, the people who are bringing things in. And COVID does not just exist in the human body alone, it exists on surfaces.
Yep.
As we are about to show you how it can be transmitted just by one person coughing into their hands. Just one person. And we will see how many people from that have been affected by the virus. So let me just pull it up here, Mr. Bola, so I can play it for everyone to see. I was just taking a moment to ensure that I could play it for the people on the live video. I don't want to, the other day we played something that they should have been able to see, but they couldn't see. So we're going to just show you this. I want everyone to have an opportunity to see and to hear this.
And public broadcaster. Medical experts teamed up with Japan's public broadcaster NHK in an experiment that simulates a cruise ship's buffet-style restaurant. First, one of 10 participants rubs his palms with special liquid only visible under black light. He represents an infected person who had coughed into his hands. Then he joins 9 others as they spoon food onto their plates and sit down to eat. After 30 minutes, the room goes dark before an ultraviolet light comes on. The fluorescent liquid is now visible on a lot of surfaces. Items the so-called infected person had touched. Tongs, pitchers, food tray lids. Left residue others picked up, and in turn spread to silverware, dishes, glassware, clothing and phones. After half an hour, every participant had come into contact with the liquid. 3 of them had gotten it on their faces, a visual show of how easily a contaminated substance can travel.
As that, and I hope that the people on the live video saw it as well, or were able to see it clearly. It was that easy for one individual, one person, to just simply cough into their hand, touch so many different things, and 9 other people in the room with him were infected as well.
Plus all of the utensils.
So we're speaking about not just the people in the room, but let's talk about the people who are going to carry these utensils now off of the table into the kitchen to be dealt with, right? Now let's talk about these people also contracting the virus and going home to their families.
But these people, when they touch these contaminated utensils, bring it to the kitchen and touch clean ones to bring it back to the table. It is contaminated. And then other people come and use this clean one. So it just spreads. And that is a very good simulation that I think a lot more people need to see, need to look at. Because that is exactly how easily the COVID virus is transmissible. And the fact that you're having stronger variants. Variants that can last longer on the surfaces that they get to. I mean, the one from Sri Lanka, the variant, says that it can last over an hour on a surface. So it means 1 hour after you put it on the surface, you sneeze, you cough, you touch. 1 hour after somebody comes in contact with that area or that piece of a plant, there is 100% chance that they can still become positive.
I am begging the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, Mr. Bola, to not be foolish. I think we are being foolish. I think the resources are there. I think we're
just acting on a foolish idea, yes.
Because the resources are there for us to get vaccinated. Imagine you're looking at a place like India who really wish they had all of the vaccines that they sent out to different countries, that different countries
I don't
bought.
know if they wish that now, But besides buying, they did make a lot of donations.
The
COVID the COVAX
facility. But it's not even a donation because it was paid for.
Right, by more affluent countries than ourselves.
It was paid for.
Yeah.
So it's not free. And it's
But
funny.
They gave some free. I know Trinidad, for example,
got some donations.
40,000 doses as a donation. Several other countries. As a matter of fact, the news said that within the last couple of months, 90 countries around the world were given donations of the AstraZeneca virus by India. But interestingly as well, the 20 million people in India who have contracted the virus so far, they said it took 10 months for the first 10 million. I said 20,000, 20 million, sorry. The first 10 million people who got COVID in India took a period of 10 months for that to happen. So it's almost, 10 million in 10 months, or a million a month. They are now 20 million and counting. The second 10 million in 4 months. That is when it really expanded and the variant got worse.
And that is probably when they actually got the new variant.
The new variant. 4 months, right? Less than half the time it took for the first 10,000. The second 10 million. Why am I saying 1,000? I'm not used to million. Somebody must give me $1 million, so I'll get used to million.
Maybe.
Yeah, they did say that I have 99 million or 190 million, something like that, which I wish I had.
Saw it too.
Yes, I saw it, and it was laughable. But I hope that I hope not only to have that money, but I hope that the person that is putting up that I can get to them, because I decided to contact a lawyer. Maybe I can sue for that amount.
And maybe you might get it,
Maybe, maybe. So I can then start talking 1 million. So 10 months for the first 10 million people that got affected in India. 4 months for the second 10 million. Yes? So it tells a story. And we are saying all of that. We are talking, and there are those out there who might be thinking, well, why are they talking about India? India so far away from us. There's so much things happening in Grenada. Yes, there are things happening here. There are other issues that we need to talk about, and we will talk about it. But the issue of COVID, the issue of COVID and the contraction of COVID and the potential that it has to do even greater damage, not just to the human being, but also to the economy of the country, to the livelihoods of people. And it has affected livelihoods in Grenada. It has affected collection of revenue by government. It has affected job opportunities and employment opportunities for people. I mean, the tourism sector and hospitality sector has gone completely dead. Over 5,000 people, direct and indirect jobs. For the hotels alone, 2,000 plus people was working directly as maids and cooks and or chef, as they call them, and waitress and what have you in the hotel sector. They have been home since March of 2020. Over 12 months now. And then you look at the taxi drivers and the vendors of all of the little trinkets. That's the correct word. And other things that they sell to the tourists. And you know, the restaurant workers and the bars and the guys who sell the jelly and the ladies who dance, the granitang and portray all of the beautiful fruits and flowers in the nice colored ballet skirts and so. These people for one full year now plus have not been able to see a dollar from the trade that they were engaged in. And it is as a result of COVID. Now imagine the week getting a second dose, worse than the first one, and having to go on a lockdown again. What does that mean? Not just for those people who are already under pressure, but the others that will then go under pressure. Because another lockdown is going to affect other businesses. It's going to affect more people and their job. There will be more joblessness in this country. So hence the reason we are trying to get people to grasp an understanding that it is important, even though we believe that we don't have COVID in Grenada at this time, to keep the protocols, to get our vaccine, to ensure that at least we put ourselves, all of us as Grenadians, in a position of strength. Strengthen our immune system. Ensure that our families are protected, our seniors at home, but also to ease the pressure of the health system. So our medical workers who have now for over 12 months been going at it daily, without a rest, every day, talking, encouraging, trying to vaccinate, and I'm happy and I'm grateful and I'm thankful for all those 16,000 plus people who have gone out and got the vaccination. Please let us encourage others, especially our young people, because I know and we know and we see our young people. They're vibrant. They're full of energy. They want to learn. They want to go to activities. They want to play sports. And we're trying. I can see the mix. I know that the ministry had some dialogue, more than one, I believe, with entertainers and so trying to see what can they put in place. How can we make it possible? But one of the easiest things is for the entertainers and the promoters themselves to get vaccinated and encourage the patrons too. So the more people that get vaccinated, the sooner we can open up some of these facilities, the sooner we can see things going back to some semblance of normalcy, where there can be people again going to look at football matches or cricket, going to dance hall, going to a show, because there's a greater possibility that if contracted, because you have been vaccinated, your system can help fight quicker. There'd be less sickness, less death, less hospitalization, and that because others around you are also vaccinated, your chance of making them totally ill and losing productive hours and government and other employers having to find money to pay people for no productivity would be minimized. So to speak. So let's think not just selfishly about me. Oh, I entrust this thing. But what about what you will be doing to others? How would you be affecting their life? What contribution would you be making to your country by not getting vaccinated?
Yeah. We have a call on the line, and at this point, we're going to open the lines for general conversation. The number to call is 440-7377 if you're calling locally. If you're in the diaspora and you want to give us a call, it's 347-329-3101. You can also send us a message via WhatsApp or Facebook, and we will most definitely read that and converse with you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Morning, Mr. Bula.
Morning to you, sir.
How things?
I am well, thank God.
Oh, yeah, man.
You sound loud and powerful.
Yeah?
You sound loud and powerful.
Yeah, man. I call on next phone. I can't get you on my phone.
Okay.
So everything good?
We good.
Good man here.
Discussing vaccination. You got your vaccine yet?
Yeah, man. I take my first shot already.
Very well.
And I feel happy about that.
Good. And encourage all your friends and relatives to do.
I take my second shot on the 23rd of June.
23rd of June.
There you go.
I can't wait to take my another shot.
I had my both shots already.
Yeah, man.
And I want you to encourage. I have been encouraging my friends.
I talk to people to take their shot and I show them the reason why they must take the shot.
Good.
And you know, the clip you played the other day, I listened in the night because I hardly listen to the program in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I really want that clip.
Oh, you want a copy of that, right?
Yeah, because I have a little tape that I could move around.
Okay.
So,
that's the one with the journalist talking about her father.
The one about the doctor when he's speaking about his family.
His father died?
Yeah.
Right. He's a journalist, really, a reporter for the BBC.
So
well, what you would do is, you have pen, Ms. Duncan? You have something to write?
I can type it in here.
Okay, so if you give us your number, she will type it in on the system.
All right, 416-4896.
Okay.
416-4896, and we'll make sure I do to send that clip to you.
Yeah, I really want it.
Good, and you can share it with friends, so they would get a better impression of what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not impossible for that to happen to us here in Grenada.
Yeah, I do my best to meet people and talk to them about that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Because don't tell me if I take a little shot, I will let me do it again.
Well, you have to protect yourself.
Safeguard myself.
Yes, you have to safeguard yourself.
Man.
And safeguard them as well. It's for their own good. Yeah.
So anyhow, you take care and have a nice evening.
We appreciate your calling. Thank you for your comments and take care. Do your best. God bless you, man.
Same to you.
All right. Someone on the live video made a not the live video, sorry, WhatsApp.
Yes.
Made a comment, two comments. Let me read both. It is important to remember vaccination is not to help the sick to recover, but to prevent the healthy from getting sick with the likelihood of no recovery. Right? He also said, considering the importance of vaccination, I implore government and the private sector to evaluate their game from information to incentives. It's imperative now, not an option.
Well said, eh? It's not to heal the sick, but to prevent the healthy from getting sick to the point of no recovery.
Yeah.
It's healthy people should be more enthused to go and have the vaccine than even the sick people. Yeah? I mean, sick people can get a lot of complications, not from the vaccine, but from the virus. As they have said, if you already have underlying issues, hypertension, diabetes, several other things, your situation can be worse. So these people too must make every effort. And it's good that the Ministry of Health is now making the vaccine available, not just at one point in one place, but they are roving, they are island-wide. Most health centers around the island you can get vaccinated there, yes? There are days when they go to populated place, like sometime last week, they were at the bus terminus in Grenville. And my understanding is that there was reasonably enough turnout. People, went in and got vaccinated, who got the second shot, who got the first shot. So, they are doing the best they can, trying to bring it to you wherever you are. It is incumbent upon us now to go and get it. get vaxxed.
Yeah.
16,000 people in Grenada so far. No one turned a monkey yet.
Nobody.
You know? And you know what the conspiracists are now saying? Well, it won't happen right now. Give it a few years.
We have a couple comments on the live video. One saying asymptomatic meaning people can be infected and not present symptoms, but can transmit it to people who are not able to fight it as they do. And something you want to note here as well, not just people who are able to fight it, because you do not know if you're going to be able to fight it. That's the thing. You assume that you are healthy enough to fight it, but you don't know. And even if you are able to recover, you would like to hope that you will recover and not develop any underlying conditions as a result of it. So it's not just dying from the virus we have to be worried about. It's developing lifelong debilitating circumstances that would allow us to live a less than healthy life.
I mean, you have people these days still complaining how the joints and bones are hurting as a result of having chikungunya or Zika or one of those diseases. And that is serious.
Yeah.
COVID will leave you, as the science has proven, with some debilitating effect for years and years and years to come. Why do you want to take that risk and that chance? When all it takes is a little prick. They say a mosquito bite. Well, I didn't even feel the mosquito bite me. Not on any of the occasions.
No, I didn't feel it. But I mean, and I got a little side effect on the first, the fever, chills. But the second time, it was a breeze.
Well, I had nothing at no time.
You're lucky, so lucky.
No.
Someone on the live is saying, because this crisis doesn't hit home, lots are playing political games with COVID-19. Everybody needs to be vaccinated. I'm awaiting my second dose.
Well,
that is wonderful.
So good.
Kudos to you.
Please encourage your friends and everyone else you know, even your enemies.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes we think those who don't speak with us may not be able to affect us or infect us.
That is so true.
But you don't know.
That is absolutely true.
A friend that you have may be a friend of your enemy.
Yeah.
So who knows? So that friend could be infected by that person who you consider to be an enemy, and that friend then infects you.
Absolutely.
So we should encourage everyone.
And not just you, but you might be fully vaccinated and the people around you are not.
Yep.
Guess what? If somebody gets really sick, you are also affected. If somebody in your family dies, you are also affected. So it's not just that, well, I've been vaccinated, so I can't be bothered. You have to be bothered because the people that you love and care are not vaccinated as yet.
I saw someone put up something. I saw it on the WhatsApp chat. Whether they made that placard themselves or somebody else made it, I think we have it here, Something about it Wi-Fi it's easier to stay closed, keep your business closed for a couple of days than to close the casket of a loved one for a lifetime or something. But it's here, you have it here,
Here?
I saw no.
Okay.
From the clips that we have. A moment ago when you was browsing through, I saw it.
I
don't know, when did you put it up? You'd see it's a big white placard.
Okay.
I can't remember all of the words.
But it's a very profound statement.
Very, very, very profound. Very profound.
We have to be mindful. And I do want to say, too, because I like speaking to the young people of Grenada as it relates to how we deal with certain instances. And I do want to say to Mr. Redhead, yesterday I listened to him, and a lot of the things he said made some sense. But I do want to appeal to him. Use the platform that you have, not just to oppose, but also to do some valuable good for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And that involves encouraging the people around you. Do a live video. We do a lot of live videos. Do a live video. A group of young people, those young activists or those that call themselves activists, they can do live videos encouraging the reason why you should get vaccinated. Everything does not have to be contentious. We don't have to only speak out when there is an issue of contention. Activism is for the betterment of the people. So if people getting vaccinated is an act of betterment, then we should hear your voices there as well. And that is what I've been appealing for the longest while, that we don't just speak when it suits us, but we speak always in times of trial and also in times of good.
Times of trial and times of triumph. Good morning, caller.
morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Bowler.
Hi, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan.
Good morning.
I try to avoid calling on this vaccine thing because it gets me upset when I have to talk about it.
Please try not to.
You see, I said in a on a different platform that the only time Grenadians would probably take this thing seriously is when they start burying their friends and their relatives. Unfortunately, there are persons who are taking advantage of I don't want to call it taking advantage, but they allow their political leadings to influence the action. When the gentleman in Antigua, the Prime Minister, made vaccination or proclaimed that vaccination would be mandatory, a number of persons said it would have negative political fallout. You know what I asked myself? Would you want to govern a country that has found itself in a situation where its resources are depleted, its key contributors to the economy are sick or dead or dying, and economically you're going down? Because you see, I think sooner rather than later, government would have to take the position that I have to bite the bullet and make this thing mandatory. It's just a law that has to be passed. I mean, it may sound unpopular, but I'm asking myself, what is better, to protect the greater good or to save our political skin, right? Because we are, look at India, what's happening in India right now. You think the Prime Minister of India would get worried about whether or not he would get back into office? What you presiding over? You have hundreds of thousands of people falling sick.
Millions.
You don't have resources. Millions. You have resources to treat those people who are ill. You know, the irresponsible person, I call them that, the irresponsible person that are discouraging people from being vaccinated. I don't want to say it out. Let me just say. But there are a number of persons who are very irresponsible. And I posted on a particular forum. There are two groups of persons who promote anti-vaccine rhetoric. One group who following who they hear, and they don't know why they're not taking it. And unfortunately, Mr. Bowler, there are some persons within the religious community that's speaking from the pulpit. I heard one guy say, Christ is my vaccination. Now, when you as a religious leader make that proclamation as a shepherd of your flock, what do you expect?
The flock to follow?
It is highly irresponsible. And unfortunately, the only time, or the time when Grenadians would learn is when it's not too late, but when you're almost far gone. I listened to the CMO yesterday, and I had to pass by his office this morning and congratulate him for stressing the importance of this thing. And he just said it's just a matter of time. If we do not take action now, it's just a matter of time before we go. Well, all the gains that we think we have made, all of this will be reversed. Because we are not. We started first with the vaccination, but we're dead last right now. People are anti-vax, and unfortunately, Mr. Bola and Ms. Duncan, people of influence. My position is this, and I'm going to end in a minute. If I'm not going to take the vaccine, I'm going to keep that to myself. And my advice to those persons who, for their own whatever reason they don't want to take the vaccine, do not discourage it. Do not make a platform where you can try to convince people that they should not take this vaccine. All kind of conspiracy theories. And I heard the CMO yesterday made a statement that even among the frontline health workers, there are quite a number of them who have not been vaccinated, who are not following the science. The same science that they claim they live with, they're not following the science. So I don't want to reach a stage where persons have to, as my mother used to say, who can hear go feel?
Yeah.
I don't want us to reach the stage where we have to feel.
Yeah.
Because for us to get any serious, outbreak of COVID, Grenadians would regret it.
Yes.
Just look at what's happening in India as an example. They run out of oxygen. Let's ask ourselves, is our health system sufficiently
robust enough? Yeah.
Robust enough to deal with a serious COVID outbreak?
Same thing we were saying this morning.
The selfish people who think that, for my, I'm not going to take this vaccine because maybe he's pushing it, or my church is saying I'm protected by God. I pray God that they don't have to experience what those other people are experiencing.
Yeah.
So my appeal to those persons, those of us who have been vaccinated, we can encourage people. But those others who do not want it, I don't want to say it that way, but let me just say, shut your mouth. You don't want to be vaccinated, do not go out of the way to convince people not to get vaccinated.
You have said a lot, but let me just say that from a biblical standpoint, which I know you're very familiar with. God has always been protecting his people, but that did not stop him to bring the flood in the days of Noah. He did not stop the demise of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes. So I think we have to be wise.
Definitely.
Those of us who can think clearly should encourage people, but those who, for their own whatever reason, they just keep their lips together. I think that would do all of us good. Yeah. Have a good day, sir, and madam.
Thank you for your contribution. We do appreciate it a whole lot. Thanks a lot.
Someone on the live video is saying, can Grenada afford another close down? With COVID sick people, expect compensation when there is free prevention available. Would they blame hospital and doctors when people start to die? And they will. This is a serious concern. It's for love of country and for our people. And I think this in itself says it all, Mr. Bola.
I think you should read it again.
And I will. Can Grenada afford another close down? Would COVID sick people expect compensation when there is free prevention available? Would they blame hospitals and doctors when people start to die? And they will. This is a serious concern. It's for love of country and our people. And the caller made a very valuable point. The CMO is saying it is only a matter of time. And I know people out there are taking that to mean, well, if all they're saying is only a matter of time, it means that they're putting things in place. That's not what it means.
Absolutely not.
If you are making or putting all precautions in place, it's like driving a vehicle, Mr. Bola. Your eyes are on the road and your hands are on the steering wheel and your foot is in the position it's supposed to be, and you're driving carefully and wandering anywhere. It only takes one reckless driver to end your life.
Of course.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So him making that statement doesn't mean that government doesn't have anything in place, or that health officials.
Well, the things are in place. We are just not obeying. The protocols are there. They say no need for protocols.
We are being
the vaccination is available. Yeah. We're not taking it. And one guy said something, this morning, I think on a program, why they didn't talk about what happened in Africa some years ago. And I think there was a case in Tanzania where some young ladies got vaccine for, I don't remember what it was, and I don't want to suggest what the illness was, what the breakout was, because there are a lot of things that break out in Africa for various reasons. And apparently the vaccine they found had some negative effects. But there are so many other vaccines. Yeah. We get vaccines for tetanus and for polio and all, and that has worked well.
That we have questioned.
Planes do crash from time to time, but people still ride them to go wherever they want to go. Yep. Millions of people on a daily basis travel by planes. Trains do get wrecked from time to time, but millions travel by them. So, yes, the same way, some vaccines had some negative repercussions.
Mr. Bola, we don't even have to go that far. A box of cigarettes says that smoking kills, and we still smoke.
So, I mean, come on. What is the argument? What is the argument?
I think it's just...
They say AIDS come as a result of having unprotected sex. Well, what happened to you when a fella say a pretty girl? AIDS don't come in his mind at all. Right? It's only after he thinks about it. Are we going to let the same thing happen with COVID? Only after we get infected, we go think, boy, it was good to take the vaccine.
Oh, it's just like when I say, it's like having sex and then putting on the condom.
You like that thing too much. Oh,
because it's a relatable statement. Everybody go understand that.
How you say everybody? So everybody does have sex?
But I would hope. But everybody at certain age too.
No, there are a lot of people that has passed the age too, and they never. You see, let's not go on with that conversation this morning. They have sex and they put on the condom after.
Well, it's the same thing. It's like riding a bike without a helmet, and after you fall is when you decide you're putting the helmet on. You
that you ride the next time. If you survive, because sometimes when you crash, you don't survive.
You do not survive.
Yeah.
Guys, the lines are open. We do have a caller on the line. Let's take this call. Good morning, Mr. Mills.
Oh, you know it's me.
Hey.
Tell me now.
I see you. I see when you pick up the phone.
She love you, that's why.
So what she do with you?
Hey, she never loved me, so she have to do nothing with me.
Never love her.
She never. It's you she love.
Put me under the two of Oliwi.
You've never been under me. Stop it. Anyway, we're on the radio. We have to be careful. So careful what you're saying.
You not.
And especially my wife that be listening every day to the program.
It's a good thing she's not the kind of husband she has.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to Carriacou Day still, you know?
Yes, I never forget that.
You're not going away.
It move, and I don't want it to move. I don't want all you go closer to St. Vincent. Stay right where you all are. If you are to move, it's to come closer to Grenada.
You don't want to see white dust in the air?
Oh, God. Not at all. I feel like this thing a calypso with that dust in the air. Around a carnival time. No, it's not carnival.
Mr. Mills, have you been vaccinated as yet?
No, not as yet.
Why not?
We said he wanted the people to come. Remember, Mr. Mills is not so mobile.
Yeah,
we had raised that. We had told somebody, you know. Was it Keville? Somebody with...
Well, maybe we need to make
a second
call, maybe to the health center or so on. But saying that, but do you want to get vaccinated still, right?
Yes, but remember, I'm not moving.
Right.
Yeah, so we want them to come to you.
We want them to come to you, yeah.
But for life's sake, I lost one of my left leg,
Yes, so we've heard.
You heard that, right?
Well, how you could say you lost one of your left leg? So you lost your left leg, Mr. Mills, not one of them. You have a second left leg? I thought you had a right and a left, and some people that say they have one in the middle. I don't know. I've never seen it.
What is wrong with this?
No, I hear people saying that, but I've never noticed anybody with those.
No, it's not true. So you don't know what I'm thinking.
No, so when you say you lost one of your left, I'm starting to think probably you are one of those people who have three.
No, the left leg then.
Okay, the left leg, right.
Yeah, because for me to stay alive, the doctor said you have to amputate it.
Okay, amputate it. We understand that, and so
I know you understand.
We will have to again, but we did mention, I'm trying to recall who. We had mentioned it to, giving them your names, Curtis Mills, and letting them know that you are housebound or SATA immobile and you're ready for your vaccine, but they may have to go and administer it at home.
Who is the person?
I'm trying to remember who we told. We speak to so many people in the Ministry of Health.
You give me so much trouble I have to look down the whole phone book for your name.
Lord God. Mr. Mills, you're not easy. But we'll do what we have to do for you, sir. We'll make sure that we contact someone who would be in authority to communicate with the people up there in Carriacou at the health center and have them come visit you at home.
So if you come up here, you know how to find me?
I will find you.
Yes, because Carriacou is like a matches back, you know.
Well, it's like that, but I think everybody in Carriacou know Curtis Mills.
You land on the airport and you say, Bella, you find me?
Yes.
Yes.
And Bella not so far from the airport?
No, when you go down in the airport, you're watching Bella.
On top there, yes.
Well,
yes.
the first thing you see is the big white house, that's the hospital.
Yes.
Princess Rala.
Mm-hmm. So we'll find you, man. We'll find you, Mr. Mills. But how you keeping? We haven't heard you a couple of days.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping good. taking it easy.
Take it easy, yes. It's tough times still, but it will get better by God's grace. Once we do the things we're supposed to be doing.
I must say good morning to Mistress Island Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Mother of our Calypso.
Skylark?
Skylark.
Yep.
I know she did listening. She might turn in the big
She finished made bakes already, man, at this time of the day.
She might look into the breakfast now.
So bakes alone Islanders make then?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
She a roll dumpling too.
Right.
And peel Irish pudding too.
Yes.
Well, my wife, but it's not about my wife in there.
Right. Well, Mr. Mills, we want to give as many people as possible an opportunity to call and contribute to the conversation.
No
so we will speak with you again.
All right,
and we'll try to make that call to get someone to come and get you vaccinated as soon as possible, okay?
Say it one more time.
We'll try to make that call to get someone to get you vaccinated as soon as possible.
That'd be very nice of you.
All right.
Thank you, Brother Mills. Take good care of yourself. Enjoy. Enjoy the rest of today. One love.
Yeah. As Grenadians, we all have to do what we can to help those who are not able to help themselves, and that includes getting people vaccinated. There's a comment on the WhatsApp says, in New York, a joint for a jab has been very successful. Establish a COVID brigade in every constituency. An envelope for a juke. Raise your hand if you love your land. I like that.
An envelope for a juke? Boy, that sounds condescending.
But I did hear about the joint for the jab initiative in New York, where they were passing off marijuana joints for in turn you get vaccinated. Maybe some initiatives like that is
I don't know. We had to look at it. I know there is talks on the way regarding the what you call it now. It's not legalization, no, the word just not.
Decriminalization.
Decriminalization, of
and then also, Mr. Bola, I just find it very strange.
Overseas.
I just find it very strange that you have to incentivize
it's
saving your own life.
It's not strange.
To me, it's strange. We have a caller on the overseas line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Lady and gentlemen.
Good morning to you, sir.
All of Grenada.
Good morning.
Now, to change the subject just slightly. Everybody in my group is now fully vaccinated. There are no children coming. So one of the main questions that I'm getting is when it comes to quarantine. We probably will be arriving on like a Monday with the midday flight. When does the quarantine start? Is it the Monday or it starts from the Tuesday?
No.
From the Monday.
From the time you arrive.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
So that means, okay, fine. The next question that I was asking, are there any Airbnbs that are included in the government's list of quarantine places?
I'm not sure.
And the reason for...
I'm not sure, but you can... The Ministry of Health, they have a web page that allows you to look at all of the sites that are listed as quarantine sites. And I want to believe that there are a few Airbnbs in there. I can't say for absolute certain.
Can you give him the website? Because all of the facilities that have been approved as quarantine facilities, they have it on the website. You can ask any questions. It's very interactive.
Make the reservation.
You should make reservation even before you arrive in Grenada. That's what they are advising. So I think she can share with you the.
I have to find it first. Did you have another question?
Yes. They want another question that's being asked is, you have to pay before you leave, before you arrive for the test.
Right.
On the second day or whatever day.
Right.
How much is that test? Everybody's asking that.
It's $410.
Easy.
Easy. When you go to the website, there is a portal that allows you to pay online for the test.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Another question. Okay, that was how much the website and the test. That's for the test and Airbnb and the time the day the quarantine starts. Okay, I think that was. Those are the questions that were the most pressing questions.
She's
for
still
now.
trying to pull up that website for you where you can find all
So
the
you can go to covid19.gov.gd. That's the Ministry of Health website.
covid19.gov.gd. Okay, I got
Gov.
that.
G-O-V-A.gov.
It gives you all of the information that you need. And it allows you to also fill out your travel authorization form, tells you the protocol. It allows you, it speaks about vaccination registration as well, and also paying for your COVID test. And you can, I believe you can also get the list of
the accommodations.
Accommodations.
They do have
They're there as well. All right. So that website should give you all the information you need.
I have one more question. Now, we hear that people that are fully vaccinated or who can prove that they're fully vaccinated. Now, I hear a lot of things among the Grenadian community, and we hear about those who come back boasting that they buy the papers and all of that nonsense.
Wow.
Now, how is the customs or wherever you go to the airport, how are they checking these things?
Well, you must have a certificate.
Do they get
if you're fully vaccinated.
It doesn't look, because I asked that question here. It does not look very, very official. You get a piece of paper, a square little thing saying that you got your first vaccination on so-and-so date and you got your second on so-and-so date. But trust me, in this day of internet and forgery...
But isn't it stamped officially? Like with an official stamp from some health facility or so?
No, I'm looking at it right now. It says at the top... At the top right-hand corner, there's a little logo that says CDC with what looks like a bird. It says COVID-19 vaccination record card. And anybody could write in anything in that. So my point was, what type of verification means do they have in Grenada to verify those things? I mean, you can get in touch with it.
But I could try and get in touch with someone who can.
Please do, because there's a lot of, you hear a lot of talk,
Yeah.
Good. We can find that out. We can find that out and find out what sort of protocols they use to verify, what verification methods that they would use. And as soon as we can, we'll let you know.
Okay, well, we listen every day, so...
Great.
Okay. And just to let you know, I'm looking at the list of accommodations on the website, so it is there.
Okay.
So you can scroll through, take a look at it, and verify which one would be, what would you prefer.
One of the reasons why they're talking about Airbnb, nobody really wants to stay close to the beach, because two of the people have had experiences with tsunamis.
Right.
So they don't want to be too close to,
that should
the
be
beach.
fine, because there are a lot of accommodations here that are not close to the beach.
Okay, because like one guy said, he don't want to go to sleep and wake up dead.
I like that. Wake up dead. Well, I thought when you die, you are asleep permanently, but anyway, he has a different understanding to it. We get that.
Yeah. Listen, we're all looking forward to coming and paying, visiting for 9-10 days. We're going to be there for.
Good.
So we're looking forward to that.
We look forward to having you. Just make sure everything is under control. Check the website out and you'll get all other information that you need.
I'll make sure everybody in the group does that. And like I said, we're all fully vaccinated.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you all very much. Good morning, Grenada.
Okay, great.
We have another caller coming in. Hello, good morning.
Oh, you lost him.
Oh, he seems to be gone. He's been very persistent and patient, so he'll call back. Oh, there we go. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Uncle.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, morning.
Yeah. Mr. Buller, I want to give you some information. Next Tuesday, the 11th of May, 2021, the vaccination team will be at Busheju Community Center From 9 to 2, where we asking the people in the Northwest to come out and to receive your vaccination.
And that community center is right by the playing field, right?
Yeah. So this is organized by the St. John Northwest Executive, and we, the member, we are leading by example. I could say, frankly, that the members on the executive, those who get the second, get it, and I think the other set, we receive our first dose already.
Okay, good.
So I think on the 22nd of June, I will take my second dose.
Yeah.
Great.
So we have to lead by example. If we ask people to take it, we have to make sure we as executive members in the district, in this St. John Northwest Executive, we have to lead.
Yeah.
And we lead by example by taking our shot. Taking our shot. I know something we speak about right. I ask myself as parents, we don't have a right to protect our children, to protect our loved ones.
I think we do.
Yes, I do believe we have a right. And we have an obligation. When we bring a child into the world, we have to protect a child and to grow up a child in the right way. Right? So many people talk about a lot of right, they don't need, not the right. It's your right not to take it. Well, if it's not your right not to take it, so what you are doing as parents, as leaders, you are leading your child on the wrong path of life.
Yeah.
You have to protect. And you have to grow up and you have to love and you have to demonstrate that love to others. We understand that we have to say, like I always say, what should you encourage somebody to take something? You're not taking it. If you encourage people to take something, you have to take it. Right? You have to take it. You cannot, like as I mentioned with your man who say that they agree for our people to take a vaccine, but you would not encourage other people, to take it. I just want to understand that. If you agree to take it, why you should encourage people to take it, right? But when you take it, and I'd say you need 70% or 80% of the population will take it for the country to really come back to some form of normality. We have to encourage. We cannot say we're taking that, then we keep our mouth shut and spend many time on speaking on negative things. Where we should spend time on speaking of things that could help develop people, help bring a better situation in the country. While we're spending time on negative things that you see like wasting energy, wasting your time on speaking about, where I think that people can benefit on. I see that waste of time of energy. So I call upon we as Grenada, we as leaders in our own right, in the church, in every village, every community, let us encourage one another to go out and get vaccine. If you say you want to continue to open back, we have to encourage people to take it. Because you can't say you want to continue to open back, but you don't take the vaccine. That cannot work. It cannot work. So Mr. Bola, Ms. Duncan, and we tell again, so let us contact petition and let's give other potential. So
well, thank you for the information. Thank you for your comments, and the people of Northwest, you are getting it right in your neck of the woods, yeah? It will be in Boucher's on the 16th, he said? I think. Yes, I think it was the 16th, so
we have another call on the line. Good morning, Ms. Jacob.
Good. Lord of mercy.
How are you?
Duncan.
How are you?
How
are you?
I'm perfect, strong as a lion.
All
So
right.
bring a little one, give me, because I'm going to take two advantage on it. Bring the big, strapping one. I'm mashing it up.
I could see you doing well, Miss Jacob. Miss Jacob,
how are you? Good morning. I hear you. Strong like a lion.
Strong like a lion.
Miss Jacob, when are you taking your second shot?
We're not taking my second shot. I take it
got it
already.
already? You take it already?
I take it just now.
Well, you is girl.
And
You
by
just
a
take your shot?
mash up those nuts and say, "Bon James Jacob has afraid you."
Miss Jacob, you is girl.
One of those man say, "You see this woman? This woman strong as a giant, because she said she cut compressed wood, she burn coals, she burn this, she do that. What's that lady there on the ground there? She powerful, One of those people say, Miss Jacob. I say, yes, what is that? That's my name. You sure why you tell us that you is? I say, madam, you are stupid. I tell you, I'm born in 1947. They telling me I'm alive.
She find you too strong for that age you giving them. So you're good. You take your second shot, and you're ready.
Man. Perfect.
You're ready.
I want to tell all my neighbors and them, but some of them say they don't know, they don't take it. Yeah, one of them that tell me don't take it, I go dead. I say, let me dead.
Yeah.
You don't take it, you go still dead. You take it, you go still dead.
Yes.
So if you don't want to take it, that's your business.
Good.
You don't telling me what to do.
That's the way to go.
Out of place.
That's the way to go.
Encourage.
Yes, I encouraging them.
It's good not only for you, but for your neighbors, your friends, your relatives.
You see where this thing come out? I could tell you where it come out, you know.
Yes.
Because I tell you already, when I'm following politicians, I go at the top and not the bottom.
Yes.
In Uncle Gary days, he had a real damn thing that he going on. The opposition before said, Gary, you take it for yourself. If you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah.
You could dead now. I don't forget in that talk. No, I don't forget in it. In Gary did I do taking injection. Some of them say, who me? I don't take that. Like you can take it in for yourself. Well, Gary could dead now. Gary rain a lot, so he could dead now.
So it started a long time ago.
Well, I remember it. That's what I tell you. I'm not going below. I'm going on top.
Yes. Stay on top all the time.
And they think they can't say they lie.
Yes. Stay on top.
Yeah, man.
It's a good place to stay.
They're the best.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, man.
I understand. But we're happy that you have your both doses now.
Yes,
that you're looking forward to fight this virus like a lion, you know. And
well, if the other virus come, I have a lion in my body to eat it up.
Right. And so we want to encourage as much people as possible to do the same. And we're getting a call, an overseas call now coming on the overseas line.
You have a very and a blessed day. God bless you all and see about your mommy.
All right, you as well, my dear. Take good care. Nice. Glad to have you. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, Ms. Duncan and Brother Bowler.
And how are
the gentleman? Pretty good. The gentleman who called about the card where people can forge it.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just going to give a little information because I took my 2 shots already.
Mm-hmm.
On the CDC card, below my name, they have my date of birth.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe when somebody comes in with their passport or whatever ID they have, it's supposed to match up.
Okay.
But they probably could still forge that. But that's a way they could catch them too.
Right.
And in the back of it, at the right hand corner, there is a fine number printed there.
Okay.
So maybe there are some of the things whoever is checking could look at. But that's what I have. I have my vaccinated card from CDC. I took my 2 shots. And your date of birth must match up with your passport or whatever.
Right.
So I just tried to share that.
But thank you for that, of course. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you again, and keep encouraging as much people as you possibly can.
I am doing it.
Wonderful.
Take care, and God bless.
Thank you.
I think this is the opportunity we have, Mr. Bola, to let the general public know where exactly the Ministry of Health will be this week in terms of vaccinating. I know that they will not be at Radisson. This week, they will be doing a mass vaccination drive at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. And that will be, let me just find the list here, from Monday to Friday. Monday is already gone. We had Wednesday at Gate B. So at the Kirani James National Stadium, Gate B, and they will also be at all health centers. Remember, you have to call the health center first to make an appointment before going to get your vaccination. In addition to that, we have the COVID-19 vaccination telephone triage network. It's where you can get your questions answered, concerns addressed. You can talk about possible side effects and make appointments to get your vaccination. And this was done by the Community Nursing Division of the Ministry of Health. Let's see here.
What's the number? Did they put the number?
They
up?
actually have numbers for all of the health centers, but you can also call 414-1767, 1773, or 1783. So that's 414-1767, 1773, or 1783. That's the number to call if you want to get in touch with the hotline or the it's not a hotline, it's a telephone triage network that allows you to call and speak about your side effects, address your concerns, and also make appointments to go to the health center and get vaccinated. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How is everything?
Everything is fine. How are you?
Quiet, Mr. Bola.
Good morning, sir.
It's a whole hour trying to call you,
Well, the line has been busy. Sometimes it gets tied up,
No, but I find the people taking too long on the line, man.
Well, all right.
There's a lot of people want to call.
Yes.
How is everything?
We good, holding on.
Baker, man, Baker.
I get the voice. I catch up with you.
Yeah, yesterday I take the last one, man.
You took your last one? Well, very well, my brother.
And he had a good turnout in Saturday yesterday, man.
Yesterday, good.
In the health center.
So that means people are being encouraged and more people are getting to understand that it is important that they get vaccinated. That's very good.
Yeah, a few people well. I was there about 9:30 and I leave there about 2.
Wow. That means there was people. There was quite a bit, yes.
Yeah, a few people well there yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, because the process is not very long.
So I find it coming on now.
It's coming on slowly. That is encouraging, and we're glad to hear. You must continue to encourage your friends and relatives. I know you have a lot of friends.
Well, I just try,
Well, that's all you can do. Try.
That's all I could do.
Try. That's what we're trying to do here every day. Encouraging people, letting them know the importance. And it's up to them.
Care according to where driving.
All right, good. You be good now. Take care and thank you for that info.
Yeah. So people are, we're going to get there eventually, but we want to get there a little faster.
Well, of course, because, a lot of people want the little action. Sometimes I just want the action too, but I tell you, I don't do nothing unless I know a lot of people vaccinated. We have to vaccinate.
The Ministry of Health has also put out, and I encourage people to go on social media, if you have social media, and subscribe to the Ministry of Health Grenada Facebook page, because they do put up a lot of valuable information. You can also post your questions there, That is also a way to get your questions and concerns answered. Post it to their page, tag them in it so that someone from their team can answer your question. They said people with non-communicable disease or ensign have a higher risk of severe COVID-19 infection or a risk of severe COVID-19 or getting really sick from COVID-19. And the main risks of NCDs or NSAIDs are tobacco, alcohol, air pollution, an unhealthy diet, and physical activity. So not just people with things like heart disease and diabetes and high blood pressure and cancer and asthma, respiratory diseases, autoimmune diseases. These are not the only people that have to be concerned. If you know that you smoke a lot of tobacco, you drink a lot of alcohol, you have an unhealthy diet, you're very inactive physically, guess what? You also stand a risk. So sometimes, like I said, we sit here and we say, me I healthy, I ain't have nothing, so I go survive. Nobody wants to play that kind of game with COVID. We have seen the effects of COVID. We have seen what COVID can do. I'm sure many people in India, in Brazil, even in Trinidad and Tobago, were thinking, me I healthy, I go make it. And they did not expect to be in the position that they are in right now. Do we really want to take that kind of chance with our lives to try and find out if we're going to survive, if we're going to make it, if we're going to get sick, if we're going to be asymptomatic, do we really want to take? Is that a chance that we really want to take? Looking at what is happening all over the world, we have a first-hand view into India. We have a first-hand view into Brazil, looking at what those variants are doing, ravaging through their people, killing family members. Do we really want to take that risk? Is it a risk that is worth taking? Because sometimes we might want to take it, but is it worth taking? That is important to note. Is it worth taking?
Why would you think people would want to take such a risk?
I know some people are adventurous.
They are adventurous, but I think that is too life-threatening. I think COVID is playing it too close to the edge.
Yeah.
So don't take a chance. Don't take that risk with COVID. I do appeal to all my brothers and sisters out there, Grenadians at large, home and abroad. Forget the political affiliation. Forget your religious affiliation. Just look at the reality before you. Is my family, would my country be able to administer all of the care to me and my family if we become seriously ill as a result of COVID? Yeah. Would we be in a position to take care of the mass amount of sickness? Would our health system stand up to it? Do we really want to risk that? Do we really want to try that? Do we really want to prove that the health system is not strong enough? Some people may, but we may not live long enough to see the results of it. Sure. I hope and wish no death or no bad deal for any one of us in Grenada, whether you take the vaccine or not. But I hope that you would allow good sense to prevail at the same time. Take your vaccine and make yourself and your family much more secured. Put yourself in a much more capable position to fight this virus, just in case you may contract it.
Yep, and with those words, Mr. Bola, we have come to the end of our program for today. As we say here every day, in whatever you do and whatever you say, be safe and be secure. We always want to be talking with you. We do not ever want to be talking about you. So please enjoy the remainder of your day and get vaccinated. It's our best shot, but it's also right now our only shot. Yep. Have a wonderful day, guys. It has been a pleasure speaking with you.
Stay tuned for the National
Grenada imposes immediate travel ban on travelers from India and Brazil with 14-day travel history. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, May 4th, 2021, I am Rakisha St. Louis. Grenada has imposed an immediate travel ban on people with a 14-day travel history from India and Brazil. That announcement on Tuesday by Honorable Nicholas Steele, Minister for Health and Social Security. India has reported more than 20 million cases, the second highest case toll in the world. Brazil's National Civil Registry reports that over 200,000 COVID-related deaths were recorded so far for 2021.
On the advice of the COVID committee and the Chief Medical Officer, Cabinet has decided that there will be, effective immediately, a travel ban for persons with a 14-day travel history from India and Brazil. means that no one with a 14-day travel history from India or Brazil will be allowed to enter Grenada. Persons will have to spend the relevant time in a third-party state that will allow them to enter. That takes effect with immediate as of today.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says government is concerned about the high level of defiance from some frontline workers against vaccination and testing when there is the possibility of exposure to COVID-19. On Tuesday, during the government's weekly post-cabinet media brief, Dr. Charles said Grenadians cannot live in isolation and ignore what is happening globally and in neighboring islands with regards to COVID-19. He said the complacency and defiance of some frontline workers, including healthcare workers, is compounding the situation because the public can use their refusal as a sign that the vaccine is not effective. The Ministry of Health continues to advocate for the COVID-19 vaccine as the country continues to fight to ensure that the number of positive cases remain low. Vaccination drives are being held island-wide weekly as part of the ministry's strategy to educate and get as much buy-in on the process, but the CMO says the defiance by some is making it difficult for them. Dr. Charles stressed that we have the perfect formula for a massive outbreak if we become too complacent.
The defiance that you're seeing out there, and I think I mentioned defiance many, many times, you see, it starts one place and it spills over into the other. All right? So we are seeing persons who are defiant and resistant to being vaccinated. And we are also now seeing persons that are defiant and are resistant to being tested after a potential exposure to COVID. So right now what we have is the perfect formula for a massive outbreak in Grenada. And if the public does not understand that right now, if anyone does not understand that right now, we have the formula right now. We have the conditions right now for there to be an outbreak. We have low immunity, high hesitancy to the vaccination, limited number of persons getting vaccinated. Persons are resistant, they're combative, they're fighting, they're doing everything in their power. And in addition, walk through St. George's with your camera one day. Physically count how many persons are wearing a mask. Right? If the public does not understand that we have all of the conditions right now for there to be a massive outbreak in Grenada, if you do not understand this now, all right, I'm seeing it. All right, we have the conditions, all of the conditions for there to be an outbreak of COVID. If we do not, alter our course.
Assistant to the CMO, Dr. Mayana Charles, highlighted the effectiveness of the vaccine in taking Grenada one step closer to eradicating the dreaded virus. She urged the Grenadians to let the decision to receive the vaccine be driven by facts and the global success rates.
Vaccination is one of the greatest success stories in public health. Vaccination is one of the most effective ways to protect persons from infectious diseases. And we have known this for centuries. And with the COVID-19, it is no different. Vaccination works the same way. And my greatest concern, the mistrust, the hesitancy starts with one vaccine. It can start with a COVID-19 vaccine, and then soon you hear people saying, well, I'm not vaccinating my children against measles. I'm not vaccinating them against mumps or rubella. And then we see a re-emergence of those diseases, right? So I want to urge everyone to get vaccinated, right? Vaccinations are available in Grenada, and we have to be thankful because there are still countries that are having difficulties getting access to vaccines, and we have vaccines here.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break. Welcome back. Following its 2020 strategic planning exercise, the University of the West Indies has invited the distinguished Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, to lead a team of technical experts to review the academic and administrative operations of the University Centre. Integral to this review effort is maintaining the UE as one regional enterprise with 5 campuses, while demonstrating its efficiency. Prime Minister Mitchell, who also holds the portfolios of national security, public administration, youth development, home affairs, ICT, and disaster management, is a celebrated UE graduate and former professor of mathematics. He has considerable knowledge and understanding of the university and will bring his known expertise to bear upon the scope of work identified for this much-needed review of the university's central administration. Dr. Mitchell said, and I quote, "It is an honor for me to accept this invitation to chair this special committee. I view our mandate as one which is critical to improving the operational efficiency of this premier regional institution. Although the COVID-19 pandemic has placed increasing pressure on regional leaders, including myself, I embrace the opportunity to contribute to the future success of this noble institution, of which I am also a proud graduate," unquote. The recommendation of Prime Minister Mitchell to chair the special committee of the University Grants Committee was made by Vice-Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles to the chairman of the committee, Finance Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honourable Combe Imbert, who also gave his endorsement. The University Centre, commonly known as the Vice-Chancellery, was established 25 years ago under the Chancellorship of Sir Sidrat Ramphal and Vice-Chancellor Sir Alistair McIntyre. Finally, in the news, the Grenada National Training Agency, NTA, has redesigned its website as part of overall efforts to improve its public relations and web presence. The redesigning process was driven by a desire to have a structured, user-friendly website that supplies training providers, consumers, regional agencies, and other stakeholders with up-to-date and relevant information about the agency and its activities. The contract was awarded to web designer Glenroy Boson.
The new website is hosted on the domain name GrenadaNTA.gd. And you can definitely feel free to go over there to that domain name and take a look at the new website. The website is built on the popular web development platform called WordPress. WordPress is one of the very popular platforms that websites are usually built on. The website is built in a way such that it's fast, it's extremely user-friendly, as well as it's modern. So individuals who are, whether you are a training provider or a student or a stakeholder or a partner of the GNTA, you will be able to go on the website, on the homepage of the website, and find exactly what you are looking for. You can easily download forms, you can download certifications, annual reports, guides. You can fill out different forms and different applications on the website. So whereas in the past you would have to manually print out forms and bring them into the office, you can now do all of that from the comfort of your home on your personal computer.
Boson is confident that the content will meet the needs of the agency and the general public.
I believe right now we have a website that definitely serves the GNTA and complements the GNTA goals and objectives, as well as serves the local Grenadian population as well.
Chief Executive Officer of the NTA, Lincoln Morgan, believes the redesigned website will better serve the needs of the agency.
The website is really important to us as an organization. It's a tool that we use to maintain contact with our stakeholders. For me, the website is as important as our physical operations that we have here. In fact, you might find more people interact with us through the website than who actually visit our offices. And so it's really important that we have a well-functioning website. And so I'd like to thank Kay for her efforts in terms of ensuring that the content of the site is what it should be. Mr. Williams for overseeing the whole process, Mr. Boswin for his all the technical and other work that went into this, and for the media for being here today with us as we launched this website. We really hope that we can keep the information on the site as current as possible so that the site is educational, is informative, and it's useful both to us and our stakeholders.
That story just ended the national report for today, Tuesday, May 4th. Let's recap the top story. Grenada imposes immediate travel ban on travelers from India and Brazil with 14-day travel history. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.